Okay, good morning to you all. And it's good to meet you once again. Before we start this facilitation or before we start this engagement, let me make one or two announcements. We need to learn to take instructions. You all belong to the working class, and I want to believe that you take instruction from your bosses at your various place of work. And so I gave you an assignment and I asked that you submit the assignment to your course rep. And the course rep should be able to put all assignments into one zip folder and then forward the assignment to me. I don't understand why students should individually start sending me assignments. Even if I say it, I won't download it. I won't mark it. And if you don't do the needful, you get zero. It's as simple as that. As HOD for marketing, I get over 1,000 mails every day. You expect me to be going through those mails to be fishing out your assignments? It is unheard of. So please do the needful, submit your assignment to your course rep. If you fail to do that, it means you are not getting any mark for your continuous assessment. And I'm very clear on this. Right? Course rep, I hope they've all submitted their assignments to you. Is the course rep there? The course rep.
So he's still joining. He's finding the challenges with the network.
Okay, that's fine. Anyway, so relay this to him. Anybody who submits an individual assignment to me may have him or herself to blame because I receive a lot of mails administratively. And that's why I gave that vivid instruction.
Very well, Doc.
Right.
Very
Okay,
well.
let's proceed. Today we want to look at company and marketing strategy. And so in terms of the learning objective, the chapter, by the end of this chapter, I expect you students to one, explain company-wide strategic planning and its 4 steps. Two, discuss how to design a business portfolio or how to design business portfolios and develop growth strategies. Three, you should, by the end of this engagement, be able to explain marketing's role in strategic planning and how marketing works with its partners to create and deliver customer value. And last but not the least, you should be able to describe the elements of a customer-driven marketing strategy and mix. We've already treated the mix and the forces that influence it. And finally, you should be able to list the marketing management functions, including the elements of a marketing plan, and discuss the importance of measuring and managing return on marketing investment. So let me introduce the topic with a short vignette on Nikkei's customer-driven marketing. Some refer to it as Nike. Ghanaians say Nike. Other Europeans say Nikkei. Anyway, once we are on the same platform, that's fine. Now, Nikkei revolutionized sports marketing over time. And so to build image and market share, the brand lavishly outspent competitors on big name endorsements, splashy promotional events, and big budgets such as Just Do It ads, right? Now, in the late 1990s, Nikkei sales slipped. And so there was the need for a turnaround or a fallback measure. And by this, Nikkei adopted a new product innovation and a focus on customer relationship. As a result, they were able to master social networking by creating deep engagement and community among customers of Nikkei. So basically, this is what the topic is all about. Customer-driven strategic marketing. You set out for a battle plan or a marketing activity, and then you monitor. If things are not going right, you need to have a fallback measure, also known as a plan B, right? To be able to achieve the target that you set for yourself as marketers. Yesterday, we all watched, I think some of us stayed all the way to watch the Ghana match. Clearly, the coach did everything, but the plan B also didn't work. But sincerely, I never had high hopes for this current Black Star team. I still think it's a team in transition. People like Jordan has good work rate, but I think he's seen it all. Jordan, Inaki, all those guys should be bowing out gradually, and then we should be having the lives of Isahaku and the other guys who normally come in during the second half. So that's what strategy is all about. Okay. In any case, what is strategic planning? Basically, every company should find the game plan for long-run survival and growth that makes the most sense given its specific situations, opportunities, objectives, and resources. And so strategic planning basically involves adapting the firm to take advantage of opportunities in its constantly changing environment. Consequently, strategic planning helps a firm to maintain a strategic fit between its goals and capabilities, as well as its changing marketing opportunities. This brings us to the steps in the strategic planning process. Mind you, this is different from the steps in the marketing process. Take note. So the figure illustrates the steps in the strategic planning process. And so at the corporate level, the company starts the strategic planning process by defining its overall purpose and mission. In fact, in other textbooks, it actually begins with the vision of the company, right? And so the mission or purpose is then informed by the vision of the company, right? But for other textbooks, they take out the vision because they feel, well, it's somebody's dream. It's a dream of a team of professionals who want to get somewhere in the next 200 years, etc. More of a long-term view, but the actual action starts from the purpose or mission, right? Now, the mission is turned into detailed supporting objectives that guide the entire company. Then headquarters decides with portfolio of businesses and products that is best for the company and how much support to give each one. In turn, each business and product actually develops detailed marketing and other departmental plans that support the company-wide plan. Thus, marketing planning occurs at the business unit, the product unit, and market levels. Essentially, it supports company strategic planning with more detailed plans for specific marketing opportunities. What then is a mission statement? And so we're going to be taking these one by one. Again, this is a model, so you should have it at your fingertips. What then is a mission statement? Of course, a mission statement refers to the organization's purpose, i.e., what the organization wants to accomplish in the larger environment. It is important to note that the mission statement must be market-oriented and defined in terms of satisfying basic customer needs. Moreover, the mission statement must emphasize the company's strength, and it must focus on customers and the customer experience that the company seeks to create. Now, what are the ingredients of a good mission statement? The first is that it must focus on limited number of goals. 2, it must stress major policies and values. And 3, it must define major competitive spheres, right? So having discussed this, let's take examples of mission statements. This is by eBay. We help people trade anything on earth. We will continue to enhance the online trading experience of all collectors, dealers, small businesses, unique item seekers, bargain hunters, opportunity sellers, and browsers, right? And so this mission statement is being informed by the vision of eBay. Okay, so let's take Rubbermaid, another example. Rubbermaid Commercial Products Incorporated, based in America. So this is their vision. Our vision is to be the global market share leader in each of the markets we serve. And then they added the mission. We will earn this leadership position by providing to our distributor and end user customers innovative, high quality, cost-effective, and environmentally responsible products. We will add value to these products by providing legendary customer service through our uncompromising commitment to customer satisfaction. Let's bring our minds to our own local setting, MTN Ghana. The vision of MTN is to lead the delivery of bold new data world to their customers. And so the mission is to make their customers' lives a whole lot better, right? Then the last one has to do with Backpress. The vision of Backpress, according to Kofi Bachman, is to be a first-class printing and publishing organization in the West African sub-region and Africa as a whole. That's his vision, his dream, his long-term plan. And so what does the mission say? It is to be an indispensable and a trusted partner to our customers by offering premium quality, innovative services, right? So the mission is drawing strength from the vision. You can possibly check your company website and look at the vision of your company and see if the mission is actually being informed by the vision, right? And also see if the mission has these 3 ingredients: focused on a limited number of goals, stresses major policies and values, and define a competitive sphere within which you find yourself as a corporate entity. If it's not being done well, you need to draw the attention of the marketing department or possibly the management. So let's look at the next process or step within the strategic planning process, and that's setting company objectives and goals. How do we set company objectives and goals? A company needs to turn its mission into detailed supporting objectives for each level of management, as mentioned earlier on. Now, each manager should have objectives and be responsible for reaching them. A broad mission leads to a hierarchy of objectives, including business objectives and marketing objectives. It is important to note that marketing strategies and programs must be developed to support marketing objectives. For example, Heinz. The overall objective of Heinz is to build profitable customer relationship by developing foods that are superior in quality, taste, nutrition, and convenience that embrace its nutrition and wellness mission. Right? Okay. Having discussed or having appreciated what a mission is and what setting up objectives are, it is important for us to also try to appreciate or understand the concept of business portfolio. In fact, a business portfolio is a collection of businesses and products that make up the company. And the best business portfolio is the one that best fits the company's strength and weaknesses to opportunities in the environment. Right? I'll be giving you examples of that. Now, business portfolio planning involves two steps. The first is to be able to analyze the firm's current business portfolio. And the second is to be able to analyze, to be able to develop strategies for growth and downsizing in an attempt to shape the future portfolio. Now, I know people are still in wonderland as to my explanation of business portfolio. And so we are going to be breaking it into two thematic areas. The first is that a business portfolio is a collection of businesses that make up a company. Leave out the products for now. And so within our local context, we can say Despite group of companies is the business portfolio of Despite because it is a collection of businesses. I think there is is it the UTV? There's the radio station, and there are other companies that are being run by Despite, right? We can also look at the defined group, Indum group of companies, where we had an insurance, we had a printing press, we had a Gold Coast Security, we had a GN Bank, and then we had, is it GN Microfinance? And then we have Elmina Sharks, then we have Coconut Group Hotels. Okay, so offhand, I can remember about 7 companies. So the collection of all these companies makes up the business portfolio of Group Indom, right? Now, business portfolio is also being defined or can be explained as the collection of products that make up a company, a corporate entity. For example, if you take PZ Ghana, they have electronics. Then when it comes to cosmetics, I think they have adult care and then they have, is it baby care? Right? And so the collection of all these products in one basket actually makes up the business portfolio of PZ Ghana Limited. The same way, if you take Nestle the collection of all the products that are being sold by Nestle, Ideal Milk, Cerelac, is it Bonvita, etc., etc., actually make up the business portfolio of Nestle Ghana Limited, right? You look at Toyota if you want to come to the automobile industry, and you realize that they sell the Land Cruiser, as in the SUVs, Fortuner, what's the name? Forerunner, etc., all the way to the sedans, right? So the collection of all these vehicles make up the business portfolio of Toyota Ghana Limited, right? You can also look at other examples by yourself now that you understand vividly what a business portfolio is. This brings us to what we refer to as the business portfolio analysis. In fact, the major activity in strategic planning is business portfolio analysis, right? Which is the process by which management evaluates the products and businesses that make up a company. And the steps in business portfolio analysis is one, to identify the strategic business units, also referred to by the acronym SBUs. And then two, assess the relative attractiveness of its various SBUs and decide the support each SBU deserves. In fact, the purpose is to be able to direct resources towards more profitable businesses while phasing out or dropping weaker ones. And so, in an attempt to analyze a firm's business portfolio, we need to put into context the BCG growth share metrics, also referred to as the Boston Consulting Group growth share metrics, right? In fact, it is the best known portfolio planning method ever developed. Now, the figure you're currently viewing actually shows the various classification of companies' strategic business units, right? Characterized by the market growth rate as well as the relative market share. Now, market growth rate basically provides a measure of the market's attractiveness. This is because once the market is growing or expanding, obviously it means the market is doing well. It means customers and consumers are in the market and brisk business is going on. And so this will attract other competitors to come in, right? Because the market is attractive. The relative market share here serves as a measure of the company's strength in the market. And this is measured in percentages, right? Now, the growth share metric defines 4 types of strategic business units. That is stars, question mark, cash cow, and dogs. In fact, star products or star businesses are characterized by high market growth rate and relatively high market share. By virtue of these characteristics, they are said to be the market leaders. Now, to maintain their position as market leaders, it is important for the firm to actually provide huge investments that should be used in distributing the product and promoting the product for the product to continue to maintain its position as market leaders. And as a result, the product is also able to churn out huge revenues for the company. Then we have cash cows. Cash cows are characterized by low market growth rate, but relatively high market share. Now, the fact that cash cows are characterized by a low market growth rate means that a lot of competitors may have exited the market as a result of the unattractiveness of the market. However, the product still commands relatively high market share. And so marketers only need to commit themselves with little sums of money for distribution, promotions, etc., and intend churn out huge revenues. In fact, cash cow products are normally used to finance the position of star products. Then we have question mark products, which are characterized by high market growth rates, but relatively low market share. So the question that baffles marketers or marketing managers is, what is it that they are not doing right that their competitors are doing right? And then try to tailor the product. It may be that they are not committing enough funds to actually promote the product. And once that is being done, a question mark product can easily metamorphose into a star product. Once sellers get to know of the existence of the product, and wholesalers and retailers start giving it a shelf space. Then we have dog product categories belonging to the dog group. They are characterized by low market growth rate and relatively low market share. At best, they are at a break-even point. It is not rationally economical to continue to maintain such a product line. So the best thing to do is to collapse the product line and rather divert the resources being invested in the dog product into a question mark product to be able to generate more revenue. Now, to recap, we all know that the growth share metrics evaluates a company's strategic business units in terms of market growth rate and relative market share. But it doesn't go without challenges. The first is that it is difficult, time-consuming, and costly to implement. Two, it is difficult to define strategic business units and measure market share and growth. And three, it focuses on classifying current businesses, but provides little advice for future planning until it happens, right? And so if in your end of semester examination, I ask you to explain the BCG growth share metrics with relevant examples, I expect you to explain to me what is meant by the BCG growth share metrics, the variables in the metrics, and then you have to explain these variables one by one, right? And then you have to draw this diagram for me. You don't need to draw the star and all that. Just label it star, question mark, that's fine. I'm not very good in act myself. Okay, also indicate the point of origin, label the market growth rate and the relative market share, the high, low for a markup during exams. And when you are done writing on these 4 categories, you end your essay by writing on the challenges relating to the growth share metrics, right? I always tell you, I don't sell questions. If you're always in class, you definitely have an idea of the kind of questions that I will bring during your end of semester exams. The next portfolio analysis tool is what is referred to as the product or market expansion grid. Now, the product or market expansion grid refers to a portfolio planning tool for identifying company growth opportunities through market penetration, market development, product development, and diversification. Now, companies must first consider if they can achieve deeper market penetration. That is, make sales to current customers without changing the original product. Secondly, companies must consider possibilities for market development. This refers to identifying and developing new markets for its current products. Third, companies could consider product development by offering modified or new products to current markets. And finally, companies might consider diversification, which refers to starting up or buying businesses beyond the firm's current products and markets. Having discussed business portfolio analysis, and the two grids or metrics for analyzing a firm's business portfolio, it's also important for us to then understand what is meant by downsizing. Now, take notes. When it comes to business portfolio analysis, I can ask you, I may not bring the BCG or the market expansion grid in the question. I can also tailor the question like this. With relevant examples, explain one metric that companies or corporate bodies use in business portfolio analysis. I expect you to either write on the BCG metric or write on the product or market expansion grid. Right. Okay. Now, downsizing basically has to do with the reduction of the business portfolio by eliminating products or business units that are not profitable or that no longer fit the company's overall strategy. And so reasons for downsizing may be the rapid growth of the company, lack of experience in the market, change in the market environment, such as maybe the market growth rate, if it's on the decline, if there is an upswing, it comes with its implications. And then decline of a particular product when it comes to the product life cycle. Right. Now, what then is the role of marketing in strategic planning? Of course, marketing plays a key role in the company's strategic planning in several ways. First, marketing provides a guiding philosophy. The marketing concepts suggest that the company strategy should revolve around creating customer value and building profitable relationships with important consumer groups. Second, marketing provides input to strategic planners by helping to identify attractive market opportunities and assessing the firm's potential to take advantage of them. And finally, within individual business units, marketing designs strategies for reaching the unit objectives. How can we partner with other company departments? Now, each company department can be thought of as a link in the company's internal value chain. That is, each department carries out value-creating activities to design, produce, market, deliver, and support the firm's product. Therefore, the firm's success depends not only on how well each department performs its work, but also on how well the various departments coordinate their activities, right? Now, how can we partner with others in the marketing system? Of course, companies should assess their internal value chains as well as the value chains of their suppliers, distributors, and their customers. And so this relates to what is referred to as the value delivery network, which is made up of the company, its suppliers, its distributors, and its customers who partner with each other in an attempt to improve the performance of the entire system. Okay, we've been talking about marketing strategic planning process. What then is a marketing strategy? In fact, the strategic plan defines the company's overall mission and objectives. Thus, the marketing strategy actually refers to the marketing logic by which the company hopes to create customer value and achieve profitable customer relationships, right? And this involves the marketing mix, which is an integration of product, price, place, and promotion. We've discussed that in the first topic. And activities for best marketing strategy and mix involve marketing analysis, and then two, implementation, planning, implementation, and control. Now, let's also understand these concepts, even though we'll be going into these concepts deep into detail as we progress with the other topics. Now, market segmentation has to do with dividing a market into distinct groups of buyers who have different needs, characteristics, or behaviors, and who might require separate products or marketing programs. A market segment is a group of consumers who respond in a similar way to a given set of marketing efforts. And market targeting has to do with evaluating each market segment's relative attractiveness and selecting one or more segments to pursue. What about positioning, product positioning? It has to do with arranging for a product to occupy a clear, distinctive, and desirable place relative to competing products in the minds of target consumers. And it is important to note that product positioning actually begins with differentiation. And differentiation here has to do with differentiating the market offering. That's either the good or the service or the other entities that marketers are concerned with to create superior customer value. It is worthy of note that the entire marketing program should support the choosing positioning strategy. We'll be looking at these concepts later on. For the 4 P's of marketing, we already know about them. That's product, price, promotion, and place, right? And the marketing mix is actually used to target customers and the intended positioning of the product. Now, let's put into context the criticism of the marketing mix. In fact, some critics think that the 4 Ps may omit or underemphasize certain important activities. This includes services like banking, airline, and retail services, which fall under category of products, right? And these are known as service products. Another criticism includes the need for packaging to be included in the 4 Ps, as it is considered one of the many product decisions. And this one, if I'm to teach you marketing management, possibly we'll look at it. under marketing management, the 4 Ps are different based on some of these criticisms. Now, the main criticism is that the 4 Ps emphasize only the seller's viewpoint. Hence, to cater for the buyer's viewpoint in this age of customer value and relationship, the 4 Ps might be better described as the 4 Cs. And these include customer solution, customer cost, convenience, and communication. Take note. And so, managing the marketing process requires the 4 marketing management functions as illustrated in this figure. Please, I won't ask you to draw this, right? It's just to aid your understanding. They include analysis, planning, implementation, and control. The company first develops company-wide strategic plans and then translates them into marketing and other plans for each division, product, and brand, right? And so through implementation, the company turns the plans into actions. Control consists of measuring and evaluating the results of marketing activities and taking corrective action where needed. Finally, marketing analysis then provides the information and evaluations needed for all the other marketing activities. This brings us to the SWOT analysis. In fact, managing the marketing function begins with a complete analysis of the company's situation. The marketer should conduct a SWOT analysis. This refers to an overall evaluation of the company's strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Strengths here include internal capabilities, resources, and positive situational factors that may help the company serve its customers and achieve its objectives. Weaknesses include internal limitations and negative situational factors that may interfere with the company's performance. Opportunities are favorable factors or trends in the external environment that the company may be able to exploit to its advantage. And threats are unfavorable external factors or trends that may present challenges to performance. Having discussed this, let's bring down the curtain by looking at the content of a marketing plan. And so if you find yourself at your various places of work and your marketing manager or marketing executive comes up with a marketing plan, that marketing plan must have all these ingredients. If it doesn't, then sorry, the person is not doing the right thing. The first portion is the executive summary. That's after you've done your business portfolio analysis and all that, right? Now, which is a brief summary of the main goals and recommendations. Next is the current marketing situation. Which gives the market's description and the product competition and distribution review. And next will be a SWOT analysis in terms of the threat and opportunity analysis, which helps management to anticipate positive or negative development, both internally and externally. And the next is to be able to have your objectives and issues. And here, to be able to come up with your strategic marketing objectives, you need to engage in what is referred to as benchmarking based on one of the components of the marketing information system, that's the internal reporting system. You should be able to engage the finance department to give you the revenue generated by the marketing department, let's say in the previous year. And based on that, you are able to then state realistic objectives to be achieved for the current year. And so in marketing terms, if let's say the sales generated for last year, 2025, was 100 Ghana cedis, then you should be able to project as your objective to increase sales by an optimistic figure of 25%, value of 25%. That means management expects you to perform at a break-even point if all plans fail. A break-even point that is enough to take care of salaries and other overhead expenditures, right? But the sky is the limit. That's how objectives are actually stated. The next is the marketing strategy, which outlines the broad marketing logic and the specifics of target markets, positioning, marketing expenditure levels, and strategies for each marketing mix element. And then we have the action programs. Some corporate entities refer to it as the battle plan, which spells out how marketing strategies will be turned into specific action programs. Of course, every strategic marketing plan must come with a budget, which details the projected profit and loss statements, right? And this budget may be funded in various ways. There's the percentage of sales approach, there's the affordability approach, there's the objective and tax approach, there's the judgmental sales judgment approach, etc., etc., right? For example, if you have the percentage of sales approach, you may propose to management that you need, let's say, 1 million Ghana cedis for your marketing programs. If you are to actually achieve your objectives and generate the desired revenue, management accepts it and think it's a very realistic strategic marketing plan, but they do not have the money to finance that, right? So management can say, okay, let's adopt the percentage of sales approach, where an extra account is created for the marketing department. And so for every unit of product sold, a percentage of that revenue goes straight into the marketing department to actually keep financing the activities of the marketing plan, right? Then, of course, there's the affordability approach where management will say, oh, your plans are very, very sexy. Let me use the American term, or pitchy, but we do not have the funds. And so we can't get you the 1 million Ghana cedis. We can't get you 100,000. Manage it. And for that one, if your plans do not work successfully, management can hold you, the marketing manager, to ransom. They can't fire you because it's not your fault. You're under resource, and so it was difficult for you to operate. And there's the objective and tax approach, where management agrees with your plan and says, okay, and we have the money as well. And so, yeah, finance director disperse the money, maybe on quarterly basis or whatever. And then management expects you to deliver results in terms of, the feedback report you're going to be giving them with figures, revenue generated, etc., etc., right? And that's the best way of funding a marketing budget. But if you do not get your marketing strategic plan right, and management decides to adopt the objective and tax approach, start writing your resignation, because they won't give you don't have the leisure of time to actually play around with management. No. First quarter, what are the figures? By second quarter, if the figures are not looking good, trust me, you'll be fired, because huge funds are being committed and you are expected to churn out revenue, right? That's why if you're a marketer, you shouldn't be scared of getting fired. Then, of course, there are controls in terms of which outline how the marketing strategy should actually be monitored in terms of progress. allow management to review implementation results, and spot products that are not meeting their goals, right? So implementation obviously has to do with turning marketing strategies and plans into marketing actions to accomplish strategic objectives. And so for this, you do not need it, maybe just by way of understanding when it comes to the marketing department organizations. Sometimes people think marketing is just about creating one office. This is how a typical marketing department should be set, right? So modern marketing departments can be arranged in several ways, but the most common of marketing organizations is, of course, the functional organization, geographic organization, product management organization, market or customer organization, as well as a combination of both. Now, marketing control. Marketing control here refers to measuring and evaluating the results of marketing strategies and plans and taking corrective actions to ensure that the objectives are achieved. More of a fallback measure, right? A marketing return on investment or market is actually the net return from a marketing investment divided by the cost of the marketing investment. Obviously, it measures the profits of the company that is generated by investments in marketing activities. I did a paper on digital marketing investment, maybe if there's time. Okay, so before we come to the learning objectives, let me see if I can share the paper on digital marketing or investment. It's part of my ASUPROF. Okay, so this is it. Digital marketing investment and the sustainability performance of manufacturing firms in emerging markets. International Journal of Accounting and Economic Studies. This one was it was a cross-departmental kind of collaboration. Myself from marketing and the others from the finance and accounting department. So and it's a very good paper, published in 2025, I think, quite recent. And this is the conceptual framework. It's a big, big, big paper, together with the analysis. We use the Smart PLSM for our analysis, and the indicators turned out very well. So it's a paper that I'll encourage you, go online, look for it and read. It's free. It's free. You don't need to pay, right? But for my books, you have to buy online. If you are not even there yet, all my books are in digital marketing. You are procurement students. So that's just by the way. Okay, so to recap what we've done, by now I expect you to be able to explain company-wide strategic planning and its four-step process. 2, by now you should be able to discuss how to design business portfolios and develop growth strategies for corporate entities. 3, you should be able to explain marketing's role in strategic planning and how marketing works with its partners in terms of the value chain and the value delivery network to create and deliver customer value. Last but not the least, you should be able to describe the elements of a customer-driven marketing strategy and mix and the forces that influence it. And finally, you should be able to list the marketing management functions, including the elements of a marketing plan, and discuss the importance of measuring and managing return on investment. I'll pause here, and if there are any questions, comments, I think It's almost time. We have 5 minutes for you to move to your next class. So I want to appeal again. I'm seeing a class of, is it 51? Make sure you submit your assignments to the course rep and let the course rep get all assignments into one zip folder for me. If you send it individually, you score 0. And once you score 0 in the continuous assessment, trust me, there's no way you write only the exams and pass. So please, let's do the right thing. Once you are able to participate in the assignment, of course, you are halfway through. The exams will now decide whether you should get an A, B, C, etc. Right? I don't want anybody to fail, but do the right thing. Yeah, Michael, let's hear you.
Yeah, good afternoon, sir.
Yeah.
So within organizations, usually you find that the marketing and then sales are usually put together. In some organizations, they are separated as two separate departments working on two different two separate objectives. That
Mhm.
I wanted to find out which is the best practice, separating those two departments or putting sales together with marketing and making them one department to perform a singular function.
In fact, the best practice is to put all together, right? But then some companies, based on their own strategic views and the kind of money they are committing to marketing these products, we want to keep a close eye on sales. Well, because sales department is more like the arrowhead. And so if marketing activities are going on well, the needed revenue should be generated or should be coming from the sales department. But realistically, the sales department falls under the marketing department. In fact, even customer service falls under the marketing department. So when we say marketing department, it used to be business development. Then there's the marketing manager. Then there's sales. There's marketing intelligence. There's advertising department. There's media, as in the graphic designing, etc. You know. Um, but now we have what we call the digital marketing technologist at the top. And so there's another huge unit that organizations are currently working on and establishing, and that is the digital marketing department unit. All the sales, advertising, media, digital marketing, customer service, all these units actually fall under the marketing department. But it depends on management. Management might say, look, we want to keep an eye on the revenue being generated. And so let's allow sales to operate autonomously so that we can really measure whatever is coming in. But it doesn't mean that sales department or the sales manager is above the marketing manager. No, the marketing manager is the boss. Sales unit is supposed to operate under the marketing department because the strategic plan and the direction comes from the marketing department. Sales is just an aspect of it. So it depends on what the company really wants. But best practice, sales unit is part of the marketing department. There's even there's a marketing intelligence stroke research where you are able to pick intelligence in terms of what is in vogue within the industry in which you are operating, and also internationally and locally, what you can do to make your product or marketing activity more competitive, you know. So it's up to management. You can suggest to management, but if it's a one-man company and the person is interested, most one-man companies are only interested in the money that comes into their account. They don't have patience. Sometimes you can run marketing programs and the first year you don't really get anything. If we are fortunate to treat product life cycle, you then see the life cycle of a product, and when the product even starts generating profit, let's say break even, and then starts generating profit. But these one-man companies, once they invest their money from day one, they expect the product to start performing magic. And that's where the pressure is. And so if you're a marketing manager and you are unable to manage it well, by actually explaining to management to understand, then it becomes a problem. That's why for me, at my level, before I even moved into academia, I do not take one-man roles, marketing roles in one-man companies. I rather prefer multinational companies because they understand market, or if you want to do the one-man company, then obviously that one-man company, the CEO should really, really understand marketing. And then you can really enjoy your marketing function in there. For example, when I was working at DataLink as a business development manager, the owner of DataLink, the founder, understood marketing. And so he asked that I should report to him personally. And I was dealing with him, and anything I take in there, he understands it. We discuss it, and once he's convinced, then we go. And so, yeah, it depends on the organization. But best practice, the sales unit is supposed to be under the marketing department. Yeah, any other question? Cost rep, the other bit
Hello,
is,
Doc.
yes.
Yeah,
Hello,
I
Doc.
guess we'll receive the notes as like the other time.
Yeah, sure. Just send me
All right, Doc.
WhatsApp that you're on standby for the notes, and I'll drop it
All
straight
right,
away.
Doc. All right, Doc.
But the other challenge is the coming weekend, I have a very serious funeral.
Okay.
And so I'll not be around. So I don't know if
So, Doc,
there's
may I suggest?
agreement.
May I give
If
a
it's not,
suggestion?
yeah, give the suggestion.
So, in that case, we would like to have the slides as you took us through and the notes so that on our own we use that time to do something. If we have questions, then we, of course, we relay them to you as
If
you
I give
indicated the
you
other
the
time.
notes and you read, you will understand. You will understand. What I rather wanted you to do is to see if we can. Okay, no problem. So I'll send you those notes. I'll send you this one and that of next weekend. And then maybe when we meet, we'll continue from where we stopped. Because I need to be able to give the lecture for you to have a better insight when you're reading the notes.
That's okay, Doc.
Yeah. So just send me a hi and I'll send the 2 notes.
Hello,
All right.
sir. Next weekend, sir, is supposed to be self-study. So I don't know.
Oh, self-study. Okay, so that's
Okay,
fine.
so
That's fine.
self-study.
Okay, that's fine. So I'll send the 2 notes. I'll send the 2 notes so that we don't miss next weekend, and then we take it from there. But please submit your assignments. Very important. And course rep, kindly add to the class list as well, so that I'll know those who submitted and those who didn't, so we can do follow-up to know why they did not, whether they've dropped out of the program, whether they've deferred, etc. We want to know. We are interested in the welfare of you students, right?
Okay, Doc.
Okay. So I wish you all the best. Nice weekend.
Thank you.
Thank you, Doc. Bye-bye.